Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. This week is going to be a bit of, I don't know, maybe me unloading some steam. So this is interesting. We had a post saying this is going to be an epic month. May is going to be an epic month. And for me personally, I think May was a lot worse than April almost. We were expecting 3.9.1 to come in and stabilize the unstable 3.9 build, and it didn't quite do that. I think we got less 30Ks, but a lot of people are having account issues, unable to spawn ships, have to reset your account constantly. I think there's a lot of issues there. Game is still pretty buggy, and that's obviously to be expected, right? But as far as the things that were in the Epic Month post, let's touch on some of the ones that we were excited to see. I think the Squadron 42 video right off the top of the bat, I think that's something that everyone's just like, what the hell's going on? And I think their excuse was it was an editing error or an accounting error or something to that effect, which is very odd. Yeah, so I don't exactly know what was going on there, and apologize for fixing my camera while live, but we're doing that. And yeah, it was very, very interesting. Obviously, the free fly started out horrendously, right? But overall, and I've said this before, more people are excited about Star Citizen than ever before. Editorial issues, yeah, I'm looking at Twitch chat. Editorial issues for the lack of Squadron 42. So that could of a lack of a Squadron 42 update. Now, me personally, I wasn't looking super excited. Looking forward to the Squadron 42 update. I think we know we're not getting Squadron 42 in 2020. I think that was always the plan. It was going to go into beta in 2020. Do we think we're even close to that? I think most regular backers that would follow a show like this or take part in a show like this know that there was no chance we were getting Squadron 42. So any update would have been kind of anyway, right? Wouldn't have been that big of a deal anyway. So yeah, not so epic because we are at the end of May and we're not going to get it. Unless we magically get it today during this show. So I don't think that's going to happen. So what else? The free fly. Let's go back to the free fly. It started out terribly. And what was this free fly? It was, I would say, 99% marketing. Now, and the 1% is to let players see the Javelin up close in game and the Idris up close in game. And it turned out to be, I would say, like 90% marketing, and the Star Citizen community took it and made it epic. You had Captain Burks and Detox specifically doing something really amazing, where they went out with a huge group of people and tried to take down some of these ships, and it was awesome. And then CIG nerfed it so nobody could anymore. The only epic thing we had got taken away. And then, yeah, the rest of it was mainly to either market the sale of ships that were going on sale so you can go and check them out, see if you want them, which is obviously very important. We need to sell ships because I've said this many times before. This game needs to be the most expensive game ever made because of the scope of the game is so huge that we all know that the amount of money they have now is not enough. So they got to keep selling in order to make the game. And it's just what it is. As disappointing as it can be sometimes that the focus is on that, but the focus is on that for a good reason, I think. Next. The other part of the marketing was pretty cool. I thought it was kind of epic. It seems like it's the start of Squadron 42 marketing. I think that was the point of putting the Idris and the Javelin in game and then tie it in with the Squadron 42 update video that for whatever reason didn't work out. Maybe they leaked something they didn't want to, and then, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think it was that epic of a month. I think it was like an epic flop in a lot of cases. But then you look at the funding of the month. 13.5 million. 9 million more than last month. $9 million more than last month. So the idea of it being an epic month, it was in some cases, right? They made a ton of funding. A ton of streamers and YouTubers were checking out the game, and it got a lot of eyes on the game, thus getting a lot more funding to the game. So apparently the total in May now is 14.894. So whatever stats I had weren't even correct. So now we're talking about 15 million. It's insane. And it was a really smart move by them to take the really powerful ship sales that they do at the end of the year and do them in the middle of the year as well. So now they get 2 huge spikes of funding each year, and I think we'll eventually get to the point where Star Citizen is pretty sufficient and can have this many people hired on and can maybe finish this game. Maybe finish this game. But yeah, so I want to hear what you guys thought about the month of May and a lot of the things that have gone on. And the title is, was this an epic month for Star Citizen? But just what was this for you? And let me know what you guys think. I know we have one caller on the line. It is a bit of a broad topic. It is a bit of we actually have 2. Okay, so that's cool. It might be a really short show. I've spoken about this on my YouTube channel recently, but my work situation is absolutely insane. I will be working 7 days a week, and I have no idea when my next day off is. So the idea of YouTube videos popping up that I really want to do, I'm not going to be able to do them. So these answer the calls are probably going to be a lot shorter, and I don't even know what's going to happen with Week in Review. I have other guide videos planned, and I can't make them. It's really, really disappointing. So without further ado, let's get to the callers. I'm sorry, I'm a little disappointing here. Let's get to the callers, and we will check that stuff out. So real quick, though, I have to change something, because the NASA space flight is going on right now, and the ship is about to dock to the ISS. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're actually not going to be able to see it, but the guys on Twitch, right over there above Unmatched Names, are actually able to watch this live with us and take part in the podcast as well. All right, Unmatched, welcome to the show. What did you think about this epic month for Star Citizen?
I got a lot to say, really. Well, first of all, the servers. Oh my god, man.
Yeah, I think that was expected for somewhat, right? When a free flight comes in and a lot of people are slamming them.
Yeah, but
But they were bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Like some big streamers came in, like Anton and stuff like that, and they can play. This was our chance to get some new people in a Star Citizen, and like it was just an embarrassment to be sitting there like, damn, I'm $70 away from $1,000, and this game is not playable in front of what he was like streaming to like 2,000 people.
Yeah, but
So
both
I was
him
like,
and Deadly Slob eventually got in, and people they really liked it. Both of them, they were really hooked, and it's so funny because they don't know anything about the game like we do. They don't follow the project as closely as we do, so they don't see any of the negatives, right? They see all of the, wow, this looks good. I can see it's moving along. It feels good. The potential's there.
yeah, but that was towards the end of the week. That's when Anton, he was like, yeah, this game. He was basically saying what you just said, that he was playing the game off stream and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
he's feeling good about it. But the starting of the week, for like new backers, they're gonna be looking at this game and be like, WTF, 300 mil, saying 400 if you count private funding.
Yeah.
Um, but
I could
yeah,
tell
it was
you
just
this, that I got a lot of new prospects as far as the referral program went during this, but I did not get a lot of people that actually purchased the game. I know the free fly is still going on, so maybe they'll purchase the game after, but I did not get as many people as I would have thought to check out the game and buy it at the same time. So
yeah, I'm hoping to
that's
get a
saying
prospect.
something.
I'm hoping to get a Wait, hold on one second. To get a pros. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I pressed enter and it turned on the volume on your stream. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a prospect tomorrow myself, but that was through my own advertisement and just messaging random people on my friends list in another game I play called RuneScape, old school RuneScape, but
Okay.
that's for another time. But yeah, another thing is that the funding was ridiculous. It was, we brought in a
It
lot of
was
money.
epic.
Yeah, especially for being the time it is where everybody's getting a lot of people are getting laid off and stuff like that. I didn't really expect us to be bringing in all this money.
No, me
So
neither.
that
I was really surprised at how much people spent during a time like this with the amount of people that are unemployed. But I think
yeah.
part of it comes down to um you're sitting around the house doing nothing. Yeah, I can make them a little bit louder. So I turned them up a bit, but yeah, we'll make them louder. The the thing is you're just sitting around the house. So I sort of
Yeah.
expected a lot of people to maybe purchase the game. And I think when it comes down to things, I don't know, man. Let me know what you think about this. But I always have this theory about like when the Idris goes on sale and it goes sold out so quickly that a lot of the people that are purchasing those are not purchasing them for the intention of playing the game. They're playing a whole nother game, and that's the gray market sale of ships. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of these ships that go on sale, a lot of people are purchasing them with multiple accounts and maybe have a script of some sort, and they're purchasing ships as quickly as they possibly can in order to sell on the gray market for a profit.
Yeah, I mean, you could just go on eBay and prove that, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
You don't need to go far to prove that. But yeah, I think that too. Like when it goes out of sale in just a few minutes, like I'm like, how much money do these guys have? You know what I'm saying? To be dropping 3 grand, buying out all the ships all at once. It's just but yeah, I support that. It could be a lot of these guys that are basically merchanting IRL.
Yeah.
Um but there's nothing we could do about that. It's just more money for CIG, and just some people are gonna have to pay a premium, and that's how we're gonna have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I myself, again, I was surprised about the funding. We made a lot. The CIG made a lot of money this month despite the pandemic. I myself, I wasn't. I did not like the ship sale. I wanted like a new ship. I'm definitely waiting on that refiner ship they talked about
Yeah.
um during Citizen Con. I think that would probably be my final ship to top out my my industry slash mission running hangar.
Didn't you think you had already topped out your hangar full of ships like I have like 5 times, and then they come out with something that makes more
No,
sense for the
I
game, and then you want more, and yeah.
No, it's for me. I understand why you'd say that, but for me personally, I got strict rules for myself. First of all, no pure combat ships. If I can't run missions with it, or if it doesn't count as industry or trade, I don't
Hmm.
buy it. I
Same.
wouldn't buy go. Like I really would love a Vanguard, but it goes against my rule. That's why I don't get it. So I don't buy it.
Yep.
And the only reason why I'd want this refinery ship is to top out my prospector and my starfarer Gemini, because I'm need to refine the stuff in there. So that's why I'm hoping that's my last ship. It's gonna be the ship to pull me into concierge level, because I'm at like 923 right now. But again, going back to what I was saying originally, I'm disappointed in the sale. No new ships, no ships that I was um excited about. The only ship that I might be even slightly excited for is the
Whatever this
the
refinery ship will
Hercules.
be.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
Hercules.
the
Okay.
Hercules, but again, if I got the Hercules, I would feel the need to go buy a tank, you know what I'm saying? And I don't wanna feel the need to do that, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't wanna,
What
because I'm gonna have this big ship, nothing to really fill it up, so I'll be like, "Oh, I could get a tank, and I can put the tank in there." I don't wanna do that, you know?
What do you think
Um
about I mean, I think the biggest fail wasn't necessarily the servers or the state of the game or anything like that. I think the biggest fail was this Squadron 42 video update. What do you
Oh,
think
that they
about
did
that?
release that?
They
didn't
didn't.
release that.
Yeah, the fact that they
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, yeah. That's another big fail. But what do you expect? We have no release date on Squadron 42, not a peep, just some like, just old gameplay from last year and stuff like that.
Oh, true. Somebody in
But
chat just said no theaters of war yet either, and they kind of teased
yeah,
that in that post.
yeah,
So,
but I'm not excited. I'm not excited for that because yeah, I think it's just gonna end up like every other game mode that we have.
me
Like,
too. Me
it's
too. But look at it this way, dude. Is they put the marketing out there and they didn't deliver on it. And there's this is the point that I'm trying to make with this episode that just drives me absolutely up a wall. I'm not okay, I'm sort of getting excited for Theaters of War. Squadron 42 we know it's further away. It's not too exciting. But the whole thing is that there's this thing where the marketing team seems to do whatever they want without, or I don't know, there's this like massive disconnect between what the expectations that they put out there and set for us and then what actually happens. And real quick before you respond is I see a few people in Twitch chat asking this question. If you guys do want to join the show, join our Discord. There's an answer the call section of the Discord, and the mods will be there, and they'll put you into the queue. Okay. And yeah, like for the whole thing is that I think marketing dictates way too much about what goes on with this game, and even then, they're like I think the roadmap is straight up a marketing tool at this point and not used for telling us what's going on with the development. Like they'll leave things on the roadmap that they know they're getting rid of that they know we're excited for during a ship sale, and then they'll remove it immediately after. So people are still excited for the game, and then the second it's gone, then they take it off when there's no ships to buy. Really, it's like it's tough. It's tough to see.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even look at the roadmap anymore.
Me
Really,
neither.
they basically stripped it when this pandemic began, and I
Which
just
is
don't even really.
understandable.
It's understandable, but I don't even know like what to expect. Like at this point, I'm just hoping that my $900 don't go up in flames. Honestly, but
Yeah.
it's just the roadmap. I don't really pay attention to anymore. Like last time I looked at it, which wasn't like maybe a few weeks ago, but when they stripped it, I was like, there isn't nothing really to look forward to right now. Going back to that theater of war thing again, it's going to be busy for the first 2 weeks, and then people are going to get bored of it. Yeah, just like the other game modes that
Star
we
Marine
have.
and AC. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to test like their tech and stuff like that. For to see if we could do this space to platform to ground transition thing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I can see why people are excited for it, and I would be too. Not, but only if I didn't already know it's just gonna die within 2 weeks.
I don't agree
Going
with
further,
that necessarily, but yeah, I haven't
yeah,
played the game. Obviously, I think a lot of people know that it's in testing, but I haven't played the game yet. But the thing about it is it if it does what it's supposed to do, the problem with Arena Commander and the problem with Star Marine is it didn't provide the true Star Citizen combat experience. The point of this one is to do exactly that. So if it does do its job, then people won't get bored of it that quickly.
yeah.
Is my
Maybe
expectation for it.
they should find some way to incentivize people to go into those game modes more than some rec or
Yeah.
something like that. Find some way to incentivize these players to go in there, because I'd like to keep my FPS skills sharp, and
Mm-hmm.
hop in and out whenever I want. But there's nobody there. I hopped in once, there was nobody there. I was shooting at walls, seeing what was destructible and what was not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was that. As going further back to the ship sale, all I bought really from the ship sale for the whole week was ship skins for my
Oh God, we haven't
Starfare.
even talked about that. They are far from
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, I saw when you put on that ship skin on the
On the
on the freer.
freelancer?
Yeah,
The
and I was kind of
black.
disappointed too. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed too because I own a freelancer miss as my mission ship, so I was kind of mad too. I was looking forward to at least standing out in the I don't know, maybe it's just a bug. Maybe it's because the it was reflecting what was on your suit or something like that. I'm hoping that it's just a
Keep
one big
hoping.
bug. Yeah.
Keep hoping.
Um.
That was disappointing, man. That one was
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah. So I bought the $34 of Starfarer Gemini. Full pack of that
The
and the
what?
full pack the Starfarer
You spent
skins and the
$34 on those skins?
yeah, dude, I just want my ship to stand out. Like I'm not I've never bought skins in any other
There's
uh
3 skins. They're not gonna stand out. There's how many people are gonna buy that skin? You're gonna look just like everybody else.
well, for the time being, there it's gonna like maybe there's a color that somebody else can't mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like that has a normal ship. You know what I'm saying? That maybe I could stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got that, and it just I should have melted my arrow to get those skins, but I totally forgot that I had an arrow which I only got because a long time ago because it was I wanted to test out something. I forgot what I wanted to test out, and I should have melted my arrows for the skin, but I totally forgot about that. But it's too late for that right now. But yeah, that's the only thing I basically bought from the ship sale. I'm angry that they didn't have any new ship, especially the refiner and stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah,
Other
the
than
only ship
that,
sale they did was the G12, which ground vehicles still don't have like a huge purpose in the game. I mean, that's a whole nother thing we
yeah,
didn't talk about. That was
yeah,
another part
yeah,
of the epic
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, now that you reminded me of that, I totally forgot about the G12.
Touch on
I
it.
don't
Touch
see
on
a.
it quickly though, okay? Because now we have a few people in the call, and I gave
All
you a
right,
lot of
all right,
time.
all right. I'm gonna touch on this, and I got one more thing to say about the Idris and Javelin and stuff like that.
Rock and roll.
Um, the G12, I didn't see a reason to buy it. First of all, it's an Origin ship. It's mostly for luxury. Second of all, it doesn't have anything that the cyclones can't already do. So what you're gonna have like a moving EMP on one of them. You're gonna have to get close to the person to activate those
Mm-hmm.
EMPs and stuff like that. And if I'm mowing you down with my Cyclone TR, minigun on the top, you can't really get close to me. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you have any offensive capabilities on that G12 other than the EMP, but you're gonna have to get close to me to use it first. The other thing, the final thing that I want to touch on is the Idris and Javelin. It was good that they put that in the game. I really liked it. I was angry just like everybody else that they made it invincible after a while because that gave people content. It gave
Yes, it
people
was the
con-
only content from the game for like. I mean,
yeah,
it was the only epic thing that really happened.
yeah, it really was, like you saw all these
That was
people,
true to the word epic.
yeah, like all these, and it took a lot of effort to blow it up. It's not like it
Yeah.
was an easy one shot thing. You had to get either a hammerhead or a 890, some rich 890 guy to come ram it off of its course. And you need like a whole bunch of people with firepower to even get it to blow up. So I don't know why they took that out of the patch. That was content for us to do, and it got me so angry when they took that away. I'm happy that they put in the ability for them to fight back, but like the AI is so freaking retarded they can't shoot straight if if it was worth their life. So it didn't even really matter that they put in their ability to fight back. So
Hmm.
but they took out the ability to destroy the javelin, which made no sense. They could fight back, but now they're invincible,
Yeah.
which makes no damn sense whatsoever. But I didn't stop. Some streamers last night, he still took his 890 and rammed it, and it was pretty funny that it just flew off of its course. But yeah, that's basically it. I've vented unless you have something else you want to ask me before you know.
No. And I know. Oh, I
Yeah,
know you had to run because you had some place to go anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why we got you in first. But all right, Match. It was great to have you on the show, and I hope we have you again soon under better circumstances where we could talk
yeah, yeah,
about positive things. Right? Where this
yeah.
week is a little bit on the negative side.
All right, all right. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great one.
All right.
Bye now. All right, our next caller is Wild Volus Prime. I'll get his name up there in just a second. I'm a little slow on this. It's been a while. We took last week off, so I'm a little out of it. Wild, what do you think, man?
Hello. Do you mind if I quickly outline my in-game epic experiences during the week? I played Star Citizen extensively for each of the...
Yeah, of course.
I'll touch on the other points as you lead the conversation.
Yeah.
So, the first thing I'm going to say is that as the event went on, things did improve slightly. From not being able to play the game at all and being stuck at character creation to getting the 16,007 errors and the 10,002, you know, your usual kind of errors and troubles. But
sure.
I also noticed that the event is at odds with itself. CIG wants to do ship sales and have the in-game event at the same time while they're two different things. And meanwhile, I'm trying to play the game.
Yeah.
And free-to-play people are trying to play the game. And we're encountering problems almost at clockwork. So I log on to Star Citizen. I try to play every day for like 4 to 5 hours, get a nice session in, get some money. And seems like every single day at 7 to 8 p.m., I'm playing on the European server.
Sure.
7 to 8 p.m., you get big queues. Then you get server troubles, login troubles. And then right around the time when CIG is supposed to be like swapping the ships out for the next day,
yep,
everything completely stops working. Background services stop working. You can't call your ships. You can't, use the refinery terminals.
Epic.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm gonna hit you up with the other side of that, which is the wholesomeness and the epicness of the global chat and people helping out new players. And I genuinely made some very good friends during this event.
That's
and
cool.
I made my first ever friend in Star Citizen via VoIP.
Oh, wow. Dude, I've been trying to talk to people in VoIP, and I can barely... It's all people with no mics. It's been so frustrating for me. But that's awesome to hear for you.
Yeah, I was basically doing the drug mission, the destroyed drug mission. Somebody else had the opposite mission from Twitch Pacheco.
Okay.
I offered him to help him find the box and like teach him the rope. And long story short, I helped him find the box. We teamed up. We did some other missions, and I got a friend just from talking in VoIP and seeing him haul away boxes.
Yeah. For me, I've done like a lot of unlawful delivery missions, and the only thing I've had is just people shoot at me randomly. It's like one guy was like, looked like he was gonna be friendly, and then he was not.
There's been a mix for me, like both PvE and PvP.
But that's like, a positive experience too. You know?
Yeah.
Coming across people often is good. But yeah, I don't know. What else? Like, what about what I really want to touch on, which I think was the biggest fail with everybody, is the Squadron 42 thing. I want to hear what people think about that.
Oh, Squadron 42 thing. Yeah, I mean, there's no way I can salvage that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like that one's like a lot of events and things that CIG planned kind of went through unfulfilled is all I can describe it as. I don't know. What do you want me to touch upon specifically?
Well, were you excited? Were you looking forward to it? Did you think it was going to be worth anything? The excuse of editorial issues, like a lot of this stuff is just... It's just so weird.
I wanted it to happen, but some part of me, both for Theaters of War and Squadron and everything that they were trying to balance all the plates, they just went down all at the same time.
Yeah.
I kind of accepted it.
Yeah. What about this Salvage update?
The Salvage update, as a person that owns a Reclaimer, I heartily appreciate the information they put, but
they were very honest.
Because, yeah, I'm very honest. I'm conflicted because they put Salvage on the roadmap, and now they're telling us that, you know, they're prototyping and it's going to be a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm relieved to know the truth, and I'm relieved to know details, but at the same time, they should not have raised people's hopes that it was something coming soonish.
To be fair, the only thing that's ever been on the roadmap was the hull scraping.
Yeah, like a early iteration of that.
Yeah. So none of the things that they're prototyping or they still need to have meetings about was ever on the roadmap. But to me personally, and I'm assuming you feel the same way, is that salvaging is not necessarily hull scraping. It's so much more. It's the looting of ships. It's the I guess I didn't even realize like the crunching up a ship into a ball kind of thing that the reclaimer will do. And then what I really liked was the discussion about how you salvage the gases from the ships, which was pretty cool. That discussion.
Salvage is something almost perfect in the Star Citizen universe if everything gets implemented. It's the complete opposite of repair, the mirror to repair.
Yep.
It's gonna be really nice once it gets in because it's so complex, and the decision making between you having to, do I want to just really quickly eat this ship because I'm in a dangerous spot, or do I want to just pick it apart for a chance at those A-rated components?
Yeah, I mean, and then there's even somebody in Twitch chat who said they sold me a salvage ship a year ago with salvage on the roadmap. Once the ship sale was done, salvage leaves the roadmap. WTF? Like, and that's what I'm talking about with like the roadmap and marketing, man. Just avoid the roadmap altogether.
I think communication could have been better because they gave us hints about the voucher. Oh, maybe it's gonna come out with salvage.
Yep.
You know, they're giving us mixed signals.
Very mixed signals, yes. And I think that was part of what was really great about this episode is there were no mixed signals. It was very much of this is where we are, and this is where we want to be, and they made it very clear that it's far away, which I thought was a positive thing. It's definitely not part of an epic month of May. It's pretty much a disappointing part of it, but the honesty was really good. And I thought it was a really well done episode of Calling All Devs, even if the answers they gave are not what we want to hear, you know? But I don't know. What else? What else could we touch on with you?
Theaters of War? Touch on skins. Yeah, and Theaters of War, yeah.
Yeah, touch on Theaters of War, and then we'll go skins, and then we'll probably let you go and go to the next guy.
So Theaters of War, they put it in the message for the month. Everyone was anticipating it.
Let me stop you. Did you go to CitizenCon?
I did not go to CitizenCon.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if you tried it. Okay.
No, I have not had hands-on with Theaters of War.
Sounds good. All right, I'll continue. I apologize.
There was just the announcement, some leaks I saw, then it just vanished, and I can't tell you anything about it really.
Yep. Yeah,
it's like it never existed for me.
Yeah. I mean, it was part of this Epic Month post. Was it something you were looking forward to, or are you disappointed we don't have it?
I'm big into like Battlefield type games, so I was really excited for Combined Arms and Star Citizen. It's something that really excites me as a potential like deep gameplay loop other than the persistent universe. It had not only potential but some practicality.
Yeah. Do you think it will deliver on what its intentions are? Like Unmatched thought it was going to die after 2 weeks. What do you think?
I think it's complex because people have expectations that those types of games will work to a certain extent, while it takes a lot of development work to make them work and run smoothly. Mm-hmm. CIG is not fully equipped for that, so I'm conflicted.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Now, what do you think about the paint system? Epic or no?
I'm leaning on the side of no because I'm gonna be entirely honest here. It's like this is complete honesty. I think the first implementation of the paint system with the event, with the microtransaction, is very predatory in my opinion.
Sure.
And they were better off implementing it as an in-game purchase with like optional like special skins. Like after that.
Like, okay, when I read the post about the plans, I wasn't so disappointed with the paint system because, okay, we're going to release these paints for sale and we're going to put them in at a later patch, a future patch, which, what does that mean? And the big thing about, for me personally, I just think the skins were underwhelming. I thought they were underwhelming.
I tend to agree.
And I think that for the price that you're paying, I didn't think we got the effort that I expect from Star Citizen. Like when I get things from Star Citizen, I expect them from an art standpoint to be on point. From a gameplay standpoint, I have zero expectations for them because they haven't given us any expectations at this point to create, because there really hasn't been anything solid gameplay-wise put into the game yet. So from an art standpoint, I have expectations from Star Citizen, and they did not deliver on those expectations with these paint sales. And if you're going to sell a skin for $20, $34 for a pack and things like that, it's got to be better than that. It's got to be better than that. And the day before, they put out an Inside Star Citizen talking about the tint system and how there's multiple zones and the colors would change and it's so easy. And then they gave us that, and yeah,
I'm really disappointed in that, because each ship has like 2 to 3 colorable bits that can be colored in separate colors. They could have released dozens of perfectly good, like coordinated 2-tone paint jobs for however many ships they have equipped for the paint system.
Yeah, I understand why not every ship is available for paint. That is something that doesn't bother me. It did bother other people. It's the actual paints that bothered me. Like, I mean, people were here watching the live stream yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember now. All the days melt together. But I bought the black skin for the Freelancer because I don't like the Creamsicle Freelancer Max. And I wanted to have a nice skin there. And it was just gray. It wasn't even black. It wasn't
horrible. Even black. Yeah, you're right about that. It wasn't even black. And considering the different lighting conditions in Star Citizen, they should have taken that into account. And I'd also like to touch up on the pictures representing the skins should be under different lighting conditions and not just the one lighting condition, and they should be rendered in-game, because those pictures and even the black skin on the Freelancer, in-game it doesn't look as metallic and shiny and black as it was marketed to be, as it was sold to you as.
Yeah, it was really disappointing, man. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on for this? I'm trying to think of what else happened. G12 sale, the actual Invictus event.
The Invictus event was cool before they nerfed it. People stealing F8s, F7s, like battling the Idris. That was epic for me. And CIG just took the fun out of it, but making them invincible and that you can't steal those ships.
Yeah, and what bothers me the most about that is that people already did it, and then people that tried and didn't succeed when they took it away, now some people have done it and others haven't. And that sucks.
That sucks. And considering this is Star Citizen's equivalent to, if you remember the Tarkov Twitch drop, like the transition from a niche game to mainstream popularity, this was Star Citizen trying to reach for that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're at that level yet because the game isn't there. But like the reason the Tarkov Twitch drop thing worked perfectly is the patch that they had was the best patch they've ever had up to that point. In my opinion, the hideout and all those things, and then you drop the drops in. Then you have really good content creators that are really good at the game and all that stuff, and it all just came together perfectly. This is a micro version of that, but I think you make a really, really solid point there, where this is that opportunity to grab as many people as possible and get them interested in Star Citizen. But you know what? Believe it or not, I think that was an overall success, because I think not everybody looks at the game the way we do, because they haven't been around as long. So they look and they see with their eyes something that is epic, and they're interested. Where you and I, the things that have been epic, we see every day, and they're a little bit dumbed down and don't feel as cool. Would you agree or disagree? That I think overall I think it was a success as far as a marketing standpoint to get people in the game, even with the state of the game. Obviously, they could have gotten more if the game was better,
if they get the technical stuff behind the scenes right, if they get the marketing to be less aggressive and like front and center, if the event just works better, we'll get more of the right and less of the wrong of this event. But it's a step forward, even with the mistakes they made.
Yeah, I don't think it's a step back. I don't think it was epic necessarily, but I agree with you. I think it's definitely a step forward. I don't know. Is there anything else we should touch on? G12 sale was just a ship sale. Paints we did. I think we hit everything, right?
Yeah, even I guess the role of VoIP in the game itself is larger now than it ever was before.
Yeah.
Since I made a friend in VoIP and more people were playing the. Like, do you want to touch upon the concurrent player increase? Like, we had a relatively tiny player base, and now we had a huge player base all of a sudden.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter considering the servers are 50 capped anyway. I think that'll matter a lot more when... I think it's irrelevant, to be honest with you. And what's the difference between a 30 players in a server that on a dead time versus a 50 player server? It's the same until we have the server meshing. I think if we had this event with server meshing, you would see the difference. But I didn't really see the difference. Because how do you? You know? But, all right, Wild. I guess I'll let you go, and I appreciate your call very much. And, yeah, you made some really solid points. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Be good. All right, we'll bring in our next caller here, Hodo. Hodo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Was it an epic month?
Oh, for me, I would have to say no.
Okay. Why?
I would have called it an epic shit show.
Whoa! Tell me why. What was so bad?
Nothing seemed to work for CIG this month. Everything seemed like it was thrown together last minute. It was haphazard. It was, oh my god, we need to do something. Let's do this. And like
would you say that it seemed reactive and not proactive? I guess that's kind of how you're explaining it. Okay.
And it seems like it seemed like CIG's. I hate to say they're broken up into two halves, but two halves weren't even communicating. You had the advertising department and then the actual development department that had two different goals, and the two weren't meshing. Advertisement pushed this on them. Let's do this thing for Memorial Day. Let's do this big Invictus Fleet Week, and then development had to go. Well, we hadn't planned for anything. Let's do this.
Yeah,
and it showed. The servers didn't handle it. The game didn't handle it. The sales were... Some people were hating on it, but I thought they fit for what they were trying to do. And then they kind of shoehorned some things in there that really didn't need to, like the fact that they threw MISC and Consolidated Outlands in there when everybody knows they really don't sell military ships. They sell militia ships.
Yeah.
They should have been out there with Drake.
The one thing that was like the G12 and the military bought the G12 and the just absolute like diarrhea coming out of their mouth to make it seem like it could be part of a military sale when it was so obvious to me that it was the concept finished near the time of what the sale was going to be, so let's make it work.
Yeah,
let's just make it fit into this. Where if the G12 concept finished after this, the description of where it was used would say nothing about military, guaranteed.
Yep, it was like I said, the prime example of advertising saying one thing and development saying another.
Yep.
The other things was, we get to the actual Invictus Week itself. I thought the displays and everything were okay. Like, I love the history, the lore, the plaques, the music. That was awesome. Seeing the fleet was okay for me. The fireworks kind of confused me. How do fireworks work in space?
How does sound work in space? Like, when people... sorry. I got to get you on that one. Like, who cares?
I know. I let it go, but it was one of those... I said, it's cool, it's pretty, whatever. They're 900 years in the future. They found a space firework.
Exactly.
But the ships moving around. I was kind of hoping the F8s would do a stupid little pre-scripted air show over each space station, but they really didn't, which was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
The everything else about it I thought was okay until we get into the actual halls themselves, and then the halls themselves were just kind of like, you go into the Aegis Hall, the ones that are pretty much the history of the UEE Navy, and they've got all of these ships and all of these holograms out there, and then when it comes time for Anvil Day, it was like, here's this, and
Yeah.
But
I don't know, it was almost like you said, it was kind of thrown together, this event, but like I said earlier, I think it was really smart to do this in May and then be prepared to do it again towards the end of the year. Because I mean, how do you feel about this from a funding standpoint? Are you on the same page with me? Do you agree with me that this is going to be the most expensive game ever made? And it obviously needs to be based on the scope of the game. So the idea of them shifting focuses to continue to sell is still important. I just think the way they prioritize it is sometimes predatory, sometimes just silly, and and just in general, I don't think it should be touching the roadmap, and it does.
No, I agree 100%. This is going to be the most expensive game ever made.
Yeah.
The way I've kind of dubbed it, it's going to be like the M2 Bradley of games. It's either going to be the $1 billion mistake or the $1 billion success.
Yeah.
Time will tell. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. I don't expect the game to be out for another 5 years at least. The Squadron 42 trailer delay and then vanish is really, even though I don't care about Squadron 42, kind of a letdown, because that's them failing to meet one of their own goals.
Sure.
And that doesn't say a lot for them.
And to be fair, let's just make sure that everyone's clear, because you called it a trailer, but it might have just been like, whatever you said. I'm 99% sure it was just going to be a discussion with Brian Chambers, and then maybe they would overlay some images. So
yeah, even that would have been something, but it's like, that's less like, what was the reason behind that? At least give a reason. Be like, due to this, we couldn't get time to do this at this point, or give a reason. Don't go quiet. Don't go dark on it. Like
editorial issues. Is that good enough?
Yeah, if they put it out there.
Yeah.
Right now it's all speculation on whether or not. But for me, the biggest letdown of the event was, they built up the whole week leading to the Cutlass Blue, the Cutlass Blue, the Cutlass Blue, and then it came out the Gutless Bleh. It's a Cutlass Black that's reskinned blue, that's slightly faster with the same equipment, and the Cutlass Red's rear with some prison pods to take up the entire thing, so you can take an entire football team and their coach. It's a horrible ship. Like it was, to me, a great example of this whole event. It was the perfect culmination of the entire event. It was slapped together and almost lazy. And I hate to say that because I love Josh Kuhn's work, but this was lazy. It was horrible. Like, this whole ship was just a mess.
That's funny to me, because what we got was my expectation for it. It was like they showed us the modularity with the Cutlass, I think, first. That, all right, we can pop the head off, the center would be the same, the back might be a little bit different. So they took the Cutlass Red and they turned it into a blue. Lazy and efficient, I think there's a fine line between the two, and for me it was more like this was an efficient way of doing it in order for us to get a freaking game at some point. So it has a quantum enforcement drive, and it has the pods to put players in it. What more did you want? I want to know, like, what were your expectations for it?
Okay, we'll start with the quantum enforcement drive because you mentioned that.
Sure.
2,000 meter dampening range, no snare whatsoever. Okay, first of all, try to keep within 2,000 meters on anyone in this game without them slingshotting you off into the stratosphere. Now, the next thing is the quantum dampening thing is completely pointless. Okay, I'm going to dampen them. Why? So now I'm stuck in the room with them so they can beat me to death with their caterpillar? Because my guns are so anemic, I'd be lucky to beat up an Aurora? It's not going to happen. That ship is miserable. It handles like a bus. It drives like a bus. It's a Ford Transit van of a ship, and that's the problem with the Cutlass. It went from being a medium fighter with freight ability to being
a freighter with, yeah.
And I won't even say a freighter with fighting ability. It is the Freelancer is a freighter with fighting ability. Right. I mean, 4 size 2 guns on gimbals. Okay, great. If they fixed, great. It now matches the Freelancer, but the Freelancer can out DPS it with its turret. And who cares? Nobody's ever in the turret on any of these ships. These are one-man ships with a 2-man option. You know, these are horrible designs. They should have remoted the turret, slaved it to the pilot, reduced the size to size 2.
I disagree. Dude, I disagree so hard. Because if turrets were actually good, which hopefully they are in 310, but I'm not holding my breath, then the turret could be valuable. And I'm sorry, just because they're not good now and everybody is, please let me slave my turret to my ship then and let me make use of it. No, I really hate that solution to that problem. The solution is making what is a multi-crew ship multi-crew is the solution to the problem, right? Your Cutlass becomes so much better when you have 2 people there and it actually functioning. Like the whole idea of these ships is the Cutlass isn't supposed to be a solo ship. It's supposed to be somebody in the turret, another guy in the seat behind you, dealing with all the power and all those things. And when ship blows up in the back, that guy's got to get out of the seat and go and fix it. Like all of those things are supposed to be a reality. And the issue is that they prioritize other shit than making that a reality. The fact that we are just fixing combat, just fixing flight, just making turrets viable is the thing that I'm getting heated about, the same way you're getting heated about just the whole design of the Cutlass. And I think that's really the problem, and I don't think the problem is the poor design of the ship, because everything that you're mentioning can be tweaked. It can be tweaked, but the other things have to be made. And they're not making them. Well, they are now, but they weren't, you know?
So this is why, before you went off on that, this is my issue with it. The Super Hornet, multi-crew ship, multi-crew, 2 seats, intended to be used with a pilot and a co-pilot / gunner, a Rio.
Yeah.
Now, the Cutlass should be made like the Super Hornet. That back seat behind the pilot that has no fucking point other than it has a better view than the pilot for some odd reason should be the gunner seat. Put the turret in his control. Don't have a useless seat back there and this ward on its back that sticks out of its shield that had to be fixed because that's a shield hole because they can't figure that out. But, you know, do that. Put a toilet back there. You did it with the Red. How hard is it? Obviously not that damn hard. You now made a ship that's at least functional, and if the turret's not slaved to the pilot, slave it to the back seat. So
what would you say to this, though? The idea of being in a turret rather than just having like a screen pop up, like an overlay screen pop up that is your turret. I don't know. I just like that better. It feels better. I think you're right. Like, listen, I'm not gonna discredit anything you just said there because the idea of it being a remote turret could be possible, but then your argument makes having any bubble turret outside the ship less relevant because the way you explain it is like simpler. But simpler may not be the most fun solution, where I feel like the most fun solution is having that bubble turret above, but I get what you're saying.
But then, you know, the other thing is you look at the Cutlass. Why would I have 3 people on a ship that has 2 beds, no bathroom at all? That's the blue, the red, the black. Why would I do that? Well, the red has 4 beds, but, you know, Why would I put 3 people in a ship that can only comfortably survive, handle 2? That made no sense. So what? The backseater's supposed to get out, go to the turret, man the turret whenever we get into a fight? The Cutlass isn't tough enough to survive that long. You run into something that has that kind of firepower where you need the turret, you're already dead.
God, so many things you keep mentioning, though, are all this shit with the complete broken flight model and complete broken combat.
And
the beds, I agree.
310.
The beds, I agree. It's kind of weird, but the flight model stuff, you're focused on the ship and not the macro problem, I think, which is why aren't they focusing on that? And they seem to be now.
Well, the next issue is, and this would be getting off the issues with the ships themselves, but then the pricing. Blue went from $150, and everyone expected a price hike, because if it was going to stay at $150, it would have murdered the Mantis, which is another useless ship. So it went from $150 to $175 non-war bond. I mean, that's a 75% jump over a black, and it's not offering a whole lot more. Yeah. I mean, it is exactly a black as far as everything else. It's got the same hard points, same missiles, and anyone who says they added missiles is an idiot, because it's just got size 2 missiles on the size 3 racks. It's a horrible ship. Like, to charge $75 over a black? Why won't I just get a black, and then later when modularity comes in, throw the stupid module in the back? So I can take 12 prisoners and cryopods? Why would I care about that? I can just handcuff them and leave them in there, because handcuffs are supposed to be a thing in game, and were already a pledge thing that you got when you got the Bounty Hunter package. The $5 handcuff package with stun baton. The Blue's now in the same price range as the Mist, and the Mist does everything better. 36 SCU cargo. Yeah, it's not as fast, but 90-something plus missiles. I can destroy a hammerhead with a Mist in one volley. 4
Stop
size 3.
Stop talking about the game now! It's driving me insane, though. You keep mentioning the fucking imbalances of the game now.
Talking about on paper, the weapons of the ship. Like, they're not going to change.
But you're still talking about on paper that is like a crumbled up fucking, it's a napkin. It's not a piece of paper with ink on it. It's a napkin that is written in fucking crayon. That's the game we're playing right now. It's a napkin written in crayon. So it's like, it's driving, like, you're killing me because you're making like the greatest points ever and then always going back to the same hole of the just disaster of the design of the ships, but then you're projecting them onto the ship that you really wish you had and you like, that didn't work out the way you wanted it to, and that's the Blue is what I'm gathering from you. And the topic today was like, was this an epic month? And all we've talked about is the Cutlass Blue, and I want to shift off of it if we can in a moment, but let's definitely try and close this out. I don't know what else to say, but because it drives me nuts when people tell me to do this, but all of these problems have to get resolved by them if we're going to be playing a good game, but it has nothing to do with the stock components on the ship, because all of those are subject to change. You're going, the Blue compared to this, compared to that. Oh, the missiles. Oh, by the way, the missiles that you can't avoid, you're talking about these things like they're set in stone now, and they're not. And it's just driving me up a wall. I have to jump in and say my piece. I want to let you go because you are making amazing points, but then you're like going into this weird tangent about things that don't make sense for the points that you're making, in my opinion.
But honestly, the Blue wasn't the ship I wanted.
Okay. So why are you so hot about it?
Because I am a Drake fan.
Okay.
I look at all of the ships, but I also love all of the ships. I have issues with every ship. Don't get me wrong. I can pick apart and destroy every ship in this game with major issues.
Sure.
That should have been minor design issues where you looked at the original concept and what you said the ship would do, what you said the ship should do, and they always said,
where's armor?
Well, yeah,
There's a million shield holes in the game.
Right, and then they push sign distance field off the roadmap. I mean, come on, because of graphics? That's what's holding you up?
Hey,
really?
I was with you on that one too. That one pissed me off also.
So, that's one of those. And I'm a big fan. I always said, wait till Science Distance Fields. It'll fix a lot of these issues with a lot of these ships, and Armor will fix the other issues, and then maybe we'll have some balance out of the ships. But no. They push all this off. They hamstring it. They forget about it. They roller skate around it. No, I'm tired of that. I've written dozens of ship problems on the Spectrum, on all ships from the Connie to the Freelancer. It's just every ship has. There's
okay,
what is it?
Okay, but let's get on topic. We got to get on topic because I have two more callers,
back on topic.
and we've let you go on a lot longer than I've let other people go on because again I thought you were making some really good points.
But
let's get back to this month.
This month, as far as everything else goes, yeah, CIG's made a lot of money this month, but I'm starting to wonder about their funding, like how it's posting, because I don't know a lot of people who've spent a lot of new money. They've just melted and rebought other things that they couldn't get previously.
Well, the money goes up based on real money purchases, not melting and using store credit. And
that's what I'm kind of wondering, because maybe a lot of people are buying a lot of things, but unless those, and I hate to say this, bots buying the big ships that are going on sale when they disappear after 30 seconds.
I think it's all resellers.
Like the Javelin. Yeah. And as the other caller said, it is definitely an issue, and I still think they should put a CAPTCHA in there for people who want to get these things. Because there are a lot of people who really want to get them and don't want to get them from the gray market. Yeah. And if the gray market's the only place they can get them, they're going to get them from there, which is hurting CIG.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, a lot of the other issues I've had with it has been in this week alone. I have had to reset my character 4 times due to character showing up invisible, no Moby Glass, no equipment, loading into the game and literally seeing nothing. What are they doing on the back-end database that's causing so many issues during the 1 week they should have had their database somewhat stable? They were supposed to fix this with 3.9.1, and it seems like they've done even less.
Yeah, it seems like it's taken a step back as far as the back end.
Yeah, and it's been an epic month, an epic shit show. Yeah. It has been just hitting the fan, and they're sitting there going, everything's fine. And
I don't know if they're sitting there going, everything's fine. I think the fire's all around them, and it's a "this is fine" meme. But yeah.
But my next question isn't 3.10 supposed to come out next month?
The end in like 30 days. It should be on the PTU Live.
So then why are people expecting a 3.9.2 when logically they shouldn't bother with it and just work on 3.10?
I agree. I think in the scenario that this is in, I don't think there should be a 3.9.2. I think unless you call like some very small bug fixes 3.9.2, and continuing to work on the whole thing for me is if the database stuff gets fixed and they want to test, or they're fixing stuff and they want to make sure it works, put out a 3.9.2. Why not? The people that work on the back end aren't working on features for 3.10 necessarily. They're going to be trying to stabilize the issues with persistence. And if they have some updates that they can give us, why not put it in 3.9.2? Then it ensures that 3.10 is in a better state than 3.9.1 was.
Well, I don't know. When they would say it's staggered development before, I'm starting to think they mean staggered as in every other patch will be good.
Maybe it's a TikTok development. But yeah. All right, Hoda,
All right.
Let me let you go because we gave you a long time. I really hope we can come on and talk again when I have a bit more time. I apologize. I would have let the show go on all day if I could, but I'm in a really weird work situation with the whole COVID-19 thing. So I apologize, man. No problem.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon. All right, and our next caller is Rollo Ranger. Yo, what's up, Rollo?
Hi.
How's it going, man? So, what do you want to touch on today about this epic month?
Well, for me, this month has been kind of split.
Okay.
From a technical standpoint, it was pretty much shit because I had to personally reset every time my character every day
Yeah.
for some reason because I had a game-breaking bug. And 3.9 in general, it was I had the most epic moment ever in 3.9,
What was
but
that?
at the same time, it was a prison escape, and
Okay.
I decided to go in subtle with a 890
Okay.
and help and help some randoms who asked in chat to have a lift. So I went there and helped them out, and it turned out that everyone who read the global chat came there, and basically they started chatting us around the whole map. So yeah, that was pretty fun. But prison is also, while it created this scenario, it also is a thing. I don't mind the idea of a prison. I actually find it pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think the time to implement it now is really good, because most of the time when I was in prison, actually every time when I was in prison, it was because I was doing this prison transport mission,
Yeah.
which I thought because I think it's the best mission currently in the game, hands down,
Agreed.
and it actually works. And yeah, but sometimes the guards, they shoot through the door or something. I don't know why.
That's desync, I'm
And
sure.
and you end up dead and get transported to prison and have like a 12 to 13 hour sentence. And when I get the sentence, the first thing I do, I simply log off,
Yeah.
because it's not worth hand mining for 2 hours straight to get out of the prison. And for me, I really, really, really dislike hand mining. I can't do it.
Yeah, I
It's
think what they
so
need to do is add more ways to lower your crime stat or lower your gain merits rather than just hand mining for people that are just don't want to do it. And there's so many issues with the hand mining, right? You drop the thing and you can't pick it up. It doesn't have the orbit attachment on it, and like there's like just a million things wrong with it.
yeah. And I think the prison should be like that. It should be annoying and should be hard
Of
to get out of
course.
the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, as I said, because of the bugs, you often get put into prison, or because you have a dumb mistake. Once I forgot to put on my helmet
Mm-hmm.
after drinking. Before and I got put into prison for some reason because I died in space.
Okay.
So yeah, but other than that and the technical bugs, it from the missions wise and the criminal, actually a good time to be a criminal right now for money, and
Yeah.
if you like PvP,
For sure.
because I mainly like bounty hunting more than being a criminal, but it's too annoying to chase after a player that doesn't want to be attacked.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy PvP. And when I'm a criminal and the payout is decent with 20k, I guess, I so often have people just camping me outside of the of the hangar. And yeah, it's like I really enjoy the PvP. For me, it's the biggest gameplay loop in the game,
Sure.
or in general what I'm aiming for. And yeah, so for the first time in the PU, I really get people who want to PvP me, and who actually have equipped chips to try and kill me.
Sure. Now,
Uh,
what about some of the other things like the Squadron 42 update and Theaters of War and the ship sales and the Invictus event? What touch on some of that?
Yeah, so the Squadron 42 trailer, I honestly only care for it to be finally finished, because I remember when I backed Squadron 42 in 2016, and they said it's going to be released in 2017, and then they said in 2017 it's going to be released in 2018, and blah 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 blah. I I really just want it out of the way so they can put more work into Star Citizen itself. I will play Squadron 42, yeah, but it's mostly about Star Citizen
Yeah.
and not about
Agreed.
Squadron 42. So yeah, I don't really care, to be honest. If they release a trailer, I just want them done with it and move on.
Oh, okay. What about paints? Paints.
Oh god, the paints.
The paints.
So I'm really into individuality in games. Like for me, it's mostly the biggest selling point. But yeah, I don't like how they went at it with the overpriced skins, and I don't mind monetizing skins, and I don't even mind if they overprice them a little, but at least the skins should be good looking and a little more detailed and not like a different shade of gray or something like that. And it's also, I find their marketing got pretty scummy lately. And I started to notice that with the Carrack when the Carrack released and they bumped up the price again by 100, so it was 600. I found that like pretty scummy, as well as that $40 or $20, I don't know, expedition skin that was also not really valuable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. People want individuality, and yeah, I think it's kind of a problem that people now buy into this.
It shouldn't have come into the game until you can have the proper amount of customizability. It should. I know it's the tier 0 version, but the tier 0 version should have been better. And I would have been fine waiting.
Yeah, I mean, those skins that are available now, those should be free skins or earnable skins right now instead of viable ones.
Trash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, CIG knows 100% that people want those skins so bad. So they went with the monetization first and don't really give a explanation or a good reason for it not being in the game now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of scummy in my opinion as well.
Black isn't even black. You drove me nuts. I was so pumped to not have a Creamsicle Freelancer Max. I never use the ship just because of the way it looks.
Yeah, and it makes it more disappointing that with the current painting bug, there are a couple skins that actually look pretty decent, like much better than the paid ones at the moment. So I don't get why they can't just implement it.
I don't know, man.
And the sale, how is it called? G12?
The G12, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just why? Why put it out now? Who wants to buy it? I mean, why don't you put out something like that when you...
I bet you there was significantly more swaps with the other rovers that people have purchased to that rather than people actually putting new money into this.
Yeah, I think they should put in such a concept when they're actually giving vehicles a reason to exist. Because they don't have a reason to exist at the moment, except maybe for the vehicle that is outside the prison, the rover. But yeah, it doesn't really have. I don't see the point, because I think if they would make the sale for that G12 when there's gameplay for vehicles, it would make them more money, or because more people would buy it, I guess. But well, I don't know. It's a concept sale. Yeah, other than that, the sale was relatively boring, but I didn't expect much of it anyway. So
yeah,
it made good money. So that's a success, I guess, for CIG.
Sure. So would you define this as an epic month?
I wouldn't. No,
What would
it's
an epic
hard.
month look like? That's what I should have asked
hard.
everybody.
I mean, it would have been an epic month for me because of the epic moments I had. Because this patch, I think, drives people more to have a group play
Sure.
and to interact with another players.
Yeah.
And it's really only the technical problems I encountered.
Yeah.
That's what.
So it could have
pushing
been.
me.
It could have been an epic month for you.
Yeah. And about the theaters of war.
Okay.
I think it's actually, at first I was excited for it, but I think it's going to die on the spot pretty much because Star Marine and elimination and stuff, it's like a easier version or simpler version actually of it. It's just a plain deathmatch, and it has so many problems with dethinking and with reloading and different bugs, and I don't know. I don't feel like a game at that large of a scale will be good, especially not in the first couple patches. So I don't really know. I think it will pretty much die on the spot.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just naive, man. I think it might be decent because I've actually been playing Star Marine, and it's so bad. It's so bad, but it's actually kind of good. like it has its moments where it's fun, and if it wasn't just so horribly unoptimized and horrible crashes all the time, you have to reload your gun every time you respawn, like all these stupid little things, it wouldn't be that bad. So that's where I get my hope for Theaters of War from, is that Star Marine at its core isn't really that bad. It's kind of good, but it's just so bad as far as it's like Death of a Million Cuts, right? There's all these tiny little things about it that are just horrible that make it so bad as a whole. But if you really look at like the big parts of it, the EVA, the guns, the maps, really, some of them aren't that bad. It could be kind of fun.
Yeah, well, I think stuff like that needs more work than it appears to need. Because spawns are pretty bad in Star Marine as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can get spawn killed 24/7, and the other thing with I'm interested to see how ship PvP to player PvP will be, because in the PU ship guns are not really effective against players, in my opinion, but then again, PU was pretty desyncy, so
yeah,
I don't know how it will play out. But yeah, I'm interested. I will try it definitely when it comes out.
Okay.
But I don't think it will take long to go dead like the other modes.
True. Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, all right, Rallo, I'll let you go, and we'll get to our last caller, because our last caller is a bit of a yapper. We're familiar with him on stream. He likes to yap, so we got to give him some time. All right, Rallo, have a good one, buddy.
You too.
All right, guys, get your yap emotes ready in Twitch chat. Reezer is here. Reezer, what's up, dude?
Hi, what's up, Mike?
Nothing. I don't know why I have everybody set low on Discord. Everybody that's coming is lower than what they should be. It's like some weird setting that happened. Go ahead. I apologize.
All right. I mean, I will keep it short. Don't worry, chat.
It's just a meme.
All in all,
Reezer.
fairly disappointed. I think it's been a mess. Like, I have been unable to log in half the time. It still happens that right today I could not log in at all.
Yeah.
I haven't even been able to check out Drake Day at all, and all I get are 16k errors. The start of Invictus Week was even worse. Couldn't get in for hours, and when I got in, I had nothing in my inventory for the first couple of days. I have never seen the servers this bad since I started playing, and I think this is a huge embarrassment for CIG.
They're not as bad. Like, they've been way worse before, but they're in a different way. Like, you can always log in. and play,
Yes,
but they would just
I can get
instantly
commitment.
crash. So
Yeah, but I would disagree in a way that CIG knew very well that they will be getting a lot of money this week. There is a huge scope or huge interest spike towards the game right now,
sure.
and there will be a bunch of new players coming in, and the fact that the servers were this bad for basically the entire week is unacceptable and should be marked as a huge embarrassment. I had a couple friends who were wanting to check the game out, and they gave up after not being able to get in for 2 days. Maybe it's worse in the EU region. I don't know, but it was. It
seems like most of the EU people are having issues where I haven't had any, but I also play on off US times, so
yeah,
it's interesting.
It is a shame because first couple of days I was constantly checking the official Star Citizen Discord, looking for new players who wanted to group up and check the game out.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of hopping into the Karak with them and doing some of the more interesting missions or showing more aspects of the game to them, like combat in space, combat on the ground, the 890 jump mission, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But after like a couple of days again, all these 16K errors for every single one of us, including people from the US. I just kind of gave up after. And I fear most, and this is like probably the worst thing about the entire week, is that most new players, especially the ones I talked to, left with a bad impression. And I think CIG should really take that to heart, unfortunately. That they have to solve or improve backends significantly.
I'm really curious what CIG uses as metrics for like the overall success of these things, right? You would have to imagine that 13 million is certainly a metric that they're looking at and going, oh wow,
yeah, for sure.
People must be really liking the game. I wonder, I mean, I think a lot of the metrics are like the feedback on Reddit, the feedback on Spectrum, maybe even like listening to some of the things you guys say on this podcast. But overall, it's gonna be really hard for them to get past the fact that they just made $13 million. Or it was $15 million, sorry.
I agree, Mike, but I think...
Like when you say they should take it to heart, I agree. But will they is the question, you know?
Well, a game cannot just simply run on rails, you know? Like, money-wise, sure, but the gameplay, there cannot be a small group that spent a lot on the game just being alone in a big empty universe. It's not plausible, and eventually even those players will move on if there will be no other players who enjoy the game.
But let's stop there. Let's touch on that. The fact that things are on rails and like you're kind of pointing out that the game's not really there, right? And I mean, I think that that's really obvious, and I think that they've been really good about that and explaining to us that there's these prerequisite things and we're working on them, and the dynamic mission system, I believe, is on the roadmap still. Like, that's something that's going to take this stuff off of rails quite a bit. The missions are going to be similar, but you're going to be doing them for different reasons in different places, and the prices are going to fluctuate, right? And there's a lot of things that are coming that will change the dynamic of the game that are currently being worked on but aren't done. And I think we need to make sure that when we are critical about CIG, is that we're critical for the right reasons and about the right things. And maybe this is just my opinion, okay? But for me personally, if they're actively working on something that should fix the problems that we have, I don't tend to harp on the problems that we currently have. That's why I went so hard on Hodo, is the idea that they're actively working towards fixing the problems that Hodo has issues with. I don't understand the hysteria that Hodo felt like he was having about certain things, is because they're actively working on the fixes to make it. And I get it, like I'm seeing it from Twitch chat from Talong, is they've kind of been stringing us along and doing this for a very long time, and maybe I'm just naive, but like when it comes to dynamic mission system, we like to even talk about this game before we have server meshing and pick at certain things is very difficult to do, because you don't have the game until we're all in one server anyway. But yeah, go ahead, Reezer. I'm sorry. I just really felt like it was important to make that point.
Yeah, I don't think I disagree. I'm not even talking about the game or gameplay with you, because like yesterday I had 2 new players I actually managed to group up with, and we played for like 4 or 5 hours, and they have had an amazing time.
Okay.
Both of them messaged me today, and they said that they bought the game immediately after our game session. They were from the US, so I had to log off. It was like 3 a.m., but they kept playing afterwards, and they said that they loved it. So those new players, and this is such a huge missed opportunity for I think for CIG, is that if the servers were slightly more stable, I'm not talking about client crashes here and there. Like, I'm not talking about a 30-minute downtime after the ships change in the expo hall. Nothing. Just in general, if the servers were playable,
yeah,
I think most new players would have left with a great impression,
sure.
a genuinely great impression, and that's the biggest disappointment for
because
me.
the game's actually quite, like, if for your first time in the game's quite overwhelming visually, right? It's absolutely beautiful, and it does start to create that imagined scenario for players. And while you and I may be past, I don't think you are. We have imagined discussions quite a bit, but while you, and honestly probably not me too, but I think a lot of the Star Citizen community that watches a show like this, takes part in a show like this, is past the imagine how great it's going to be stage, right? So the new players aren't. So when new players come in and they experience the game and the servers are at least decent, they're going to have a great experience. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think
new players are going to, or existing backers are going to complain more than newer players. That's just the nature
fair.
of it.
I think we agree. I just wanted to say that
Sure.
I just think after all that said, the states of the servers were unacceptable. But yeah, I would like to move on.
Are you looking
that's all
forward
I
to
have.
Squadron 42?
I am a fairly recent backer, so
Okay.
Squadron 42 was never that big of an
So this
issue or
update thing
something I
doesn't
am
bother
super
you?
happy about. It doesn't. I know people like you who have been here since forever, right? You are. It's one of the most disappointing things that it should have been out in like 2016 initially.
I don't even care. I just want them to get the game out so we can start developing SC a bit more.
Yeah, fair enough. I just cannot be excited. It's the same with like the Polaris, for example. I cannot be excited about things that I know are way out.
Yeah.
Is the thing. It's unfortunate that they obviously have to spend a significant amount of manpower working on Squadron 42, but it is what it is. I would love to see incremental changes in Star Citizen, and I'm good if I see them.
Did you buy any paints?
But yeah. So ship skins, right?
Yeah.
And again, probably the second biggest disappointment is our ship skins. That I remember specifically the video where they showed the saber with like the red white variation, the black and gold, and the hex code, that amazing black and gold saber skin. And after that is like a super vibrant yellow skin.
Yeah, you can't get that unless you spend 100,000. I'm sorry, sir. The black and gold saber is reserved for the top hat and monocle level.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so they tease us with those, and then they gave us these absolute garbage. Like I can't really put it in any other way. That olive green Avenger Titan skin is probably the most hideous thing I have seen my entire life. I don't know. It's terrible, right? And they gave us this basic, super boring skins. I'm all for individuality, right? Like the previous caller said. I would. That's why I bought the expedition skin on the Korok, even after how expensive it turned out to be. I want to feel like the ships are mine, and there is some special spin to them that makes them mine.
The 300
and the skins are the most straightforward way to do it.
I'm sorry, but paint skins, nothing should have come in after the 300i paint scale sale thing, other than like that. Once you did that, now you've done this thrown together, like, kind of like just really, really thrown together way of doing things when you had the perfect system. For the exact reason that you were saying, is I want the ship to feel like it's my own. Having the customizability both inside and out, and for a price. which I like. I like the idea of them selling cosmetics on the website. I hate the idea of selling chips at this point. I really think it breaks the game. We're so far past that. I'm not having that discussion with anybody ever again, but because it doesn't even matter. It's pointless. But the idea of selling cosmetics outside of the game to players to allow them to customize their ship and make it their own for a price is amazing, because it doesn't affect the game whatsoever, but it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like the money you spent was worth it, you know? Because your ship looks different than my ship. And yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but another thing is that even despite all these issues, how much people are actually willing to spend a game is still unreal to me. And you know, I am one of those monocle top hat concierge people, I guess.
Sure.
On Aegis Day, when the sale began, the site was down for like 30 minutes because everybody kept refreshing and nobody could get in. And after the site went back up, the first time I refreshed, the Warbond Idris was already sold out immediately, and the Javelin sold out 2 minutes afterwards, just like a snap of a finger.
Yeah,
it's insane. And I don't know. I guess it's just still, again, kind of goes back to me being disappointed at the state of the servers and how much better this should have been done. But yeah, so also like the third party, like the gray market was always something that confused me. Is the Polaris, for example. The Polaris was sold out immediately. I am like 95% sure that bots or scripts were set up to immediately buy.
Nobody. I'm sorry, but I don't know how many were available because I wasn't home when it went on sale. But anybody that follows this game relatively closely knows you're not going to be playing that ship within the next 2 years.
Exactly.
So why is it selling out so fast?
Strange. Yeah, I'm super confused about that one. So I think it's probably like people trying to make a profit off of them on third-party sites like eBay and Reddit. But again, I'm still not quite sure what CIG thinks of the gray market or how bad it's gonna be for the game eventually, because it's way beyond the point where CIG can just get it shut down. And even if they ever stop selling the ships through official ways, the gray market will forever stay around, right? Like at this point,
it'll make it be even more prevalent. It'll make it even more prevalent, right? Because people might just be stocking Idrises and all these huge ships that when and if they ever stop selling ships, that the gray market will be where you go to spend your money and earn them. I don't know. I think you can buy them in game. It's going to be a weird thing where you can buy money and then buy them in game. Who knows, man? But all right, do you want to touch on any final thoughts before I get going? Because I got to jump in the shower and get ready for work. What do you think?
Yeah, no, nothing. I just wanted to say that I am here hoping that 3.10 gets us some turret gameplay changes. Let there be a complete rework, a buff, gimbal assist support or addition. I don't know, just something that actually introduces proper multi-crew.
I hope this time next month we're talking about something a lot more positive.
I hope so too, because I still love the game. This is the chat will make fun of him for calling it a game, but
Yeah.
I still love the project or whatever you want to call it. I cannot wait for even slight improvements and spend a lot of time playing with friends.
Yeah.
And turret changes would probably be the easiest and most substantial.
Yeah. I think that'll make jumping on the carrack together just 10 times more fun. If they deliver on it the way they're saying they are, I think that's going to extend the life of the patch fun-wise for a good amount of time, because there's so many ships that have turrets, big scale, small scale, and it should be really cool to take part in missions together. But all right, Reezer, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Let me find my mouse. There it is. And then everybody else that joined us today, I really appreciate it. Again, I'm sorry, everybody watching, that it's a little bit shorter than what the show would normally be. I mean, we went an hour and a half. That's pretty good. But yeah, so just keep an eye out. Things are going to be a little bit tight on YouTube for a while until things calm down here from the way my work is handling us at the moment. So it's kind of tough. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about anything we discussed here, because it was all over the place. So there's lots of things that we can talk about in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not sure what we'll talk about next week. Everything is up in the air for me. So if we have an episode next week, we'll see what it touches on. Let me know in the comments below, actually, how do you guys want me to go about the next episode each week? Should I put out a tweet that is followed up with something on YouTube, like a YouTube community post about what we're going to talk about on like a Friday, and then that's or maybe a Friday is good, like after Star Citizen Live, and we can figure out like, all right, this is what's going on. We could talk about the topic. I think that would be pretty good if I started focusing on that a little bit more, to make these shows a little bit better, and therefore you guys know if you want to stop by and talk about it in advance, and can leave comments and stuff like that ready to go. So I think I'll try and do that. We've tried to do it before. I don't think I pay enough attention and put enough focus into this show like I should, so I'll do my best to, since a lot of my other YouTube content I'm not going to be able to do due to time. This is something I definitely can, so I'll do my best to try and get that done. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe for more weeks in review, for more Answer the Calls. All right, and I will see you guys next week.